Coming up on News Center 3, a shootout kills a Shenandoah County man and wounds a state trooper. And some citizens look for ways to make their neighborhoods a little safer. Those stories and more next on News Center 3 at 11.
Our magazine, weekday mornings at 10. This is News Center 3.
Good evening. One man is dead and a state trooper is wounded following a shooting at a Shenandoah County home today. State police say trooper R.E. Heisman was shot in the upper right shoulder and Alan Proctor was killed as police tried to enter a home in the Forestville section of the county. Proctor was reportedly a suspect in a drug investigation that has involved several Northern Virginia police agencies. The trooper was entering Proctor's home to search for drugs and firearms when the shooting occurred just before noon. In Harrisonburg, a group of citizens is taking steps to make their neighborhood a safer place. Chris Peterson has a report.
Since 1972, the Neighborhood Watch program has effectively helped to prevent crime in residential neighborhoods. In Harrisonburg, there are only 30 neighborhoods that currently participate in the program, but with the recent murder of a Harrisonburg woman, that number is growing. The fear is still great enough that people are reluctant to go on camera, but the citizens in the Southwest neighborhood are doing something about it.
We will not let one person destroy our neighborhood for us. That we're going to make sure that we do everything possible not to have something like this happen again.
What they're doing is organizing a neighborhood watch program, concerned neighbors looking out for each other. Police officials strongly encourage the program to keep residences and people safe.
I think it's a joint effort between the citizens and the police department. I think the citizens have to become aware that they are potential victims of burglary, assault, sexual assault, things of this nature. And once they become aware of the fact that they could be a potential victim, there are certain steps that they should take to prevent being put in that position.
What has happened with this tragedy is we've had a loss of innocence, and we're much more cautious and much more suspicious. But I think a good outcome will be that we will be much more concerned about each other, and we will know our neighbors and watch out for them now.
Last February, when traffic safety was a concern in this neighborhood, the people got together and did something about it. Consequently, stop signs like this have been installed. Now that personal safety is a concern, the people of this neighborhood hope that by sticking together, they can again make a difference. In Harrisonburg, Chris Peterson, News Center 3.
West Virginia Highway Commissioner William Ritchie recommends a nickel-a-gallon hike in the gasoline tax to fund highway construction and bridge replacement at an acceptable level next year. Ritchie made his budget presentation today to the Finance Commissioner, who will relay the message to Governor Moore. There's some controversy over the media role in an upcoming march planned by the Ku Klux Klan in Stanton and Waynesboro. As Helene Kramer reports, the controversy centers on whether the media is helping city officials keep down the publicity about the march scheduled for Saturday, November 14th.
The Klan has the okay to march through downtown Stanton and downtown Waynesboro. Stanton held a news conference yesterday to announce it publicly. This morning, the story did not appear on page 1 of the local paper, but page 3. A local sociologist says the local media, including television, purposely buried it.
In regard to the Klan, I'm sure there are people that are for, and there are a lot of people, I hope, that are against, and there are people that don't care. But unless the people know about it, they can't know that this is occurring. They can't take some action one way or the other.
Editor Tommy Stevenson declined an interview on camera, but he said the following: "We gave it what it was worth. It's not a big deal. We expect everything to be peaceful like it was in Craigsville. They burned a cross or two, and that was it."
Harry says it's not the paper's job to write off the Ku Klux Klan. He says they can do that on the editorial page.
The city newspaper is not going to take action that runs directly in opposition to some wish of city council.
And history shows that where the Klan has marched, there has been violence. From the 1960s civil rights days to present-day all-white Forsyth County, Georgia. Some Stantonians say the march is a big deal.
I think half of Stanton or more will turn out.
It should be noted that it was the unanimous opinion of the Stanton City Council that the best way to handle this matter was to let it happen without any fanfare.
Carey says there is a spirit of cooperation here between government and the newspaper. The news leader insists they made a judgment based on the value of the story. Because of the First Amendment, both sides and the KKK have a right to express their opinion. Helene Kramer, News Center 3, Stanton.
A week after he was nominated to the U.S. Supreme Court, Douglas Ginsburg has acknowledged using marijuana once as a college student in the 1960s and on a few occasions in the 1970s. Ginsburg says he has used no other drug and has not used marijuana since. Attorney General Edwin Meese says the admission should not stand in the way of Ginsburg's confirmation. Both men termed the illegal drug use a mistake. Hearings on Ginsburg's confirmation could begin as early as December 7th. Well, today it became official. Secretary of Defense Caspar Weinberger formally announced he's stepping down after 7 years as head of the Defense Department. ABC's Ken Walker reports on the resignation and on the man chosen as Weinberger's successor.
Mr. Reagan came to the Rose Garden to announce the largest shakeup of national security positions in his presidency. He first made the official announcement of Defense Secretary Weinberger's departure.
We're here today to say Godspeed, friend, the finest Secretary of Defense in the history of our nation, Cap Weinberger.
Mr. Reagan especially thanked Weinberger for supervising an unprecedented peacetime buildup in U.S. spending for defense.
The year Cap and I took office, for every dollar the Soviet Union invested in its military, the United States invested only 65 cents. By 1984, it was 92 cents.
Weinberger, a skeptic of arms agreements with the Soviet Union, used his parting statement to urge the president to continue his strong backing of his so-called Star Wars program, which has served as an obstacle in superpower strategic arms talks.
You've steadfastly kept us to the goal of deployment of your strategic defense initiative, toward which we are making very great progress very rapidly, and you've refused all temptations, Soviet or otherwise, to be diverted from that deployment.
Mr. Reagan also revealed that National Security Advisor Frank Carlucci would replace Weinberger and that Lieutenant General Colin Powell, Carlucci's deputy, would become the new National Security Advisor, the first black American to hold that position. Kenneth Walker, ABC News at the White House.
Still ahead on News Center 3, forest fire problems continue in Virginia and West Virginia. The focus is on Nicaragua tonight, the first day of an ambitious Central American peace plan. Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega is back in Managua from a trip to the Soviet Union and plans to announce new moves toward complying with the plan. The author of the plan says only a negotiated truce between the Sandinistas and the Contra rebels will make it work. But in the past, Nicaragua has steadfastly refused to talk with the rebels. Wall Street posted a gain today amid falling interest rates. The Dow Jones Industrials were up more than 40 points, ending 2 days of decline. Citibank and Chase Manhattan were the first major U.S. banks to trim their prime rates by a quarter point to 8.75%. In an effort to find new ways to combat the spread of the gypsy moth, the federal government will soon begin a multi-million-dollar demonstration program to be headquartered in Harrisonburg. As Pat Kellogg reports, federal officials outlined the experimental program today at a meeting in Charlottesville of the Virginia Environmental Council.
It was in Massachusetts over a year ago that the gypsy moth began its long march southward. Now the pesky insects have advanced as far as the central Shenandoah Valley, where Uncle Sam is busy mapping out plans to do battle along the new front line. The federal government plans to spend $4.5 million to figure out new and better ways to control the insects in the valley. Details of the project came to light today in Charlottesville at a meeting of the Virginia Environmental Council.
But the key to all these techniques are implementing them at very low gypsy moth population levels. Once the levels get up to defoliating populations, then these techniques are not effective at all.
The Environmental Council is going along with the feds, but making it clear that they don't want the government to begin large-scale chemical spraying. The feds apparently have agreed to do so, and the project should get underway by early next year.
To be quite honest with you, we're going to, like I said, we're planning on cooperating 100%. But we're also going to keep a close eye on how it continues to develop over the next 2 or 3 years.
The federal experimental program was championed by West Virginia Senator Robert Byrd. State officials were initially confused by it all because the money was appropriated before anyone really knew what it was for. In Charlottesville, Pat Kellogg, News Center 3.
Well, with those chilly temperatures and high winds today, it really felt kind of nippy out there.
November started out great. The first 4 days were great, really warm. You would have thought it was May instead of November. But yeah, it's just about time for that winter weather to start moving in. We're going to tell you about that when we come back. Well, if you get a chance to go outside tonight, you should go outside and look. It's very clear, very bright night, beautiful full moon and lots of stars, but very, very cold. Currently outside our studio right now, 46 degrees. Barometer at 29.99 and on the rise. Humidity at a very low 28%, and the winds are out of the northwest at a very high 17 miles an hour. Our high temperature today only reached 65 degrees. Way below that high of 79 we reached yesterday. Our average of this day is 57, so we're still above the average. Low this morning, 45, above our average of 38 again. And at this hour, our satellite map is showing very clear skies for most of the eastern part of the nation. A lot of rain activity, actually snow activity, because the temperatures have dropped so much up in the Michigan area. And lots of rain activity out in the western part of the United States. As much as 2 feet of rain are in parts of Nevada and out in California, Arizona, New Mexico. They're also experiencing a lot of rainfall out there, very heavy at times and causing a lot of damage. Shoshone, California, also reaching very record depths of rain at this hour. Our map for today shows the same thing. High pressure dominated the whole entire eastern half and midsection of the country here. Here's that cold air and these little that are bringing snow to the western parts of Michigan and the higher parts of Michigan, as a matter of fact. Also going to drift down tonight and bring snowfall to parts of New York and Pennsylvania as well. For tomorrow, we can expect our lows to be in the 30s and even in the 20s in parts of the Potomac Islands and the lower valleys. And at this hour, our weather watchers are reporting temperatures that are just starting to get down there. 46 degrees here in Harrisonburg, 45 degrees up in Winchester at the airport there, 46 degrees at our own airport here in Weir's Cave, 42 degrees at the Babingers in Stanton. Waynesboro, the Edders are reporting 44 degrees at this hour. Charlottesville has the hot spot at this hour is 51 degrees, and Carl Quintrell and Ruckersville reporting 48 degrees. Carl had a high today of only 60 degrees. Now let's go ahead and look at tomorrow's map and see what we can expect. This high pressure will continue to dominate. Here's that storm bringing a lot of the snowfall, starting to just move off. We'll start to bring some snowfall up into the New England area tonight and tomorrow morning, and then we'll continue to drift off, but those cool temperatures are here to stay. Meanwhile, for us, high pressure will continue to dominate and lots of sunshine throughout most of the eastern United States and the Gulf states. By tomorrow afternoon, though, we want to watch because this storm system moving down from Canada and this organization of all that storm activity out in the western part of the United States going to start moving our way. However, this high pressure here, this ridge of high pressure is very, very strong, kind of being stubborn, refusing to move, and it will stay with us at least through Sunday. Doesn't look like we have any chance of rain until Monday or Tuesday next week, so that's good. Even though they're having lots of rainfall out there, it looks like it won't get to us until Monday or Tuesday. Our high temperatures for tomorrow, not very high at all, 50s and 40s for the Shenandoah Valley and Potomac Highlands. But good news is on the way for the weekend, because by Saturday, our jet stream is showing that we're going to just start getting a warm flow of air from down south, down Texas way, where they're still breaking record temperatures down there in the 80s and 90s down in Texas. And that's going to keep our temperatures a little bit higher on Saturday and Sunday. We can expect 60s and 70s for Saturday and Sunday. But for tomorrow, our forecast calls for sunny skies but cool temperatures, a high of only 50 degrees, a low of 30. Winds will be rather gusty, 10 to 20 miles an hour. Then for Friday night, clear conditions, a low of 30 degrees. Winds will be out of the southwest, 10 miles an hour again. And then on Saturday, sunny and warmer. There's that high creeping back up there into the 60-degree mark, and winds will be light. But even though it's going to be warmer during the days this weekend, you're going to still need to really bundle up at night because temperatures are going to get down as low as the 20s, and that's good sleeping weather, but not good outside weather.
More like November.
Yes, very seasonable.
Thanks, Chris. State forestry officials say a 70-acre forest fire burning out of control on Fort Lewis Mountain came dangerously close to Roanoke tonight, sending clouds of smoke into the city and nearby Salem. But after coming within 2 to 3 miles of the Roanoke city limits, The fire now appears to be moving in the opposite direction, away from homes and businesses. Forest fires charred more than 50,000 acres in West Virginia as of this evening, causing more than $12 million in damages. And that's prompting foresters to call for an order closing the woods. No rain is forecast for the next 4 days, and foresters say they expect the fires to grow worse each day. Assistant Agriculture Commissioner calls the fire the worst in recent memory. 3 firefighters were injured today, including one who fell off a cliff and suffered a concussion. And girls basketball semifinal action tonight.
I can't remember the last time a district tournament was so well balanced. From top to bottom, a 7th-seeded team making it to the finals, you better believe it. We'll tell you all about it. Sports coming up next. Well, the way the Virginia High School Basketball League playoffs work, if the tournament season, let me start over. The way the Virginia High School League basketball playoffs work, if the regular season champion makes the tournament final, then the tournament runners-up make the regionals. Thank you. Fort Defiance, the regular season champs, did win. More on that in a moment. So 3rd-seeded Spotswood met number 7 Turner Ashby for a regional berth. Let's go to Harrisonburg High. The Knights upset Harrisonburg in the first round. They set their sights on the defending champs, and the Knights started off strong, off the miss. B.J. Burkholder follows it up. She led all scorers with 14 points. The TA went to a box-and-1 defense on the Trailblazers' Missy Hensley. She gets 2 here on the running jumper, but she only had 4 points on the night, 18-14 TA at halftime. Second half, the Knights begin to open it up. Tara Holland, a nice baseline move. She fouled a 3-point play, and the lead was 5, 33-28. Spotswood got as close as 3. Susan Myers takes it from a running hook, and it'll be good. But free throws down the end. There's the bucket by Myers off the glass and good. But free throws down the end make the difference for TA. 14-21 in the fourth. And that and the Dion Hensley made the difference.
Missy Hensley makes Spotswood's offense click. We just thought that if we could contain her, that we could stop Spotswood. And we did.
They did. The Knights will meet Fort Defiance Saturday night for the tournament title. The Indians got a little bit of resistance, but beat Broadway 27-24. Let's go back to Harrisonburg High. Broadway came up with a pretty good game plan. Patience, patience, and more patience. After trailing 16-11, the Gobblers win the third quarter 8-2. Kirsten Girding, 2 of her team-high 11, and Broadway's biggest lead was 23-20. But Fort loves that in-your-face defense, so Betsy Craig says in your face. With the steal, she takes it in for the layup, and the Indians were within 1. And moments later, Kate Harlow hits the jumper. Harlow was 7 of her 11 points in the fourth quarter. Fort Defiance wins 27-24. But a close game won't hurt as long as you win.
We needed a really tough game, and I did expect a super, super tough defensive game. I was hoping we would hit a few more shots, but they weren't giving them to us. I think it'll help us a lot.
Well, Saturday night's final. Upstart Turner Ashby and top-seeded Fort Defiance. It starts at 7:30 at Harrisonburg High. Other district games tonight. Luray is a upset winner over Buffalo Gap by 5. So the Bulldogs will meet William Monroe in the Skyline District semifinal Saturday night in Crozet. In the Bull Run District, Strasburg is a winner, the top seed, but Clark County a mild upset over Page County. So those two teams will meet for the Bull Run District title on Saturday. Circleville's Christy Cooper, 43 points to break a school record for points in her career. She's just a junior. And East Hardy over Petersburg. Now, most people think David Robinson is a franchise player. Well, the Navy big man is in San Antonio. Tomorrow he'll sign with the Spurs, the team that made him the first pick in the NBA draft in June. The Spurs have called a press conference for tomorrow when they'll announce that Robinson has signed a multi-year deal. Robinson can't play for the Spurs in 1989 or until 89 because of his 2-year commitment to the Navy. But if the Spurs didn't sign him by next year's draft, he would go back into the draft. Robinson will get a $3 million signing bonus and $12 million over the next 5 years. He'll be comfortable in San Antonio. Quick baseball note. The Associated Press named Andre Dawson its player of the year. Dawson hit 49 homers and drove in 137 runs for the Cubs, and Chicago still finished last in the National League East. We will have that preview of the Virginia Tech West Virginia game tomorrow night for you at 6 o'clock. I promise I'm going to make it on the air with that.
Okay, thanks, Scott. Stay with us. We'll be right back. It won't be long before traffic flow is back to normal in parts of downtown Harrisonburg. Cranes were on hand today to place pre-stressed beams as work nears completion on the Liberty Street Bridge. Due to severe deterioration, the old bridge had to be torn down and a new one put in at a cost of $150,000. The Liberty Street Bridge should be open to traffic November 16th and be fully completed by December 1st. Similar work was being done on the Wolf Street Bridge, which was reopened to traffic yesterday. And that's our report tonight. Thank you for joining.